DJ Cable, how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, man. Long time. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Listen, welcome. Thanks for joining Beam, appreciate it. For those that don't know, tell the people who you are.
So I'm DJ, producer, been in the game for a minute, made a few records, been on a few radio stations. I'm just about like DJing, do some stuff, some brands as well, collect a load of sneakers. That's it really.
Nah. You need to. Let's get the rap sheet out. Okay, cool. So UK tour DJ for Snoop Dogg, 2011.
Yeah.
Tyga's tour DJ, 2012. Capital One Extra since 2014.
Yeah.
Producer, owner, Triangulum Records. So
Yeah.
You're more than just about. Bro. You know what I mean? You're more than just about. But let's get started. So, where did the inspiration to become a DJ come from?
It's just been like from like the 90s, man. So like, being in high school, listening to like, hip hop music and hearing like the DJs like scratch on like all these tunes. So anything from like Gangstar, NYP, Nas, Biggie, just like hearing just like DJs like do their thing on those tracks. I was like, yo, the scratching stuff sounds dope. I really want to do it. And I was really into like drum and bass at the time as well. So like hearing people like DJ Hype and like Marky cut it up over drum and bass. I was like, yeah, I really just want to scratch. That's me. Like the scratching stuff sounds dope. And then kind of sort of saved up and got a little bit of Christmas money. Got like one of these really crappy like DJ in a box type setups. Belt drive decks that used to skip all the time and everything like that. And crossfade used to like break every month and had to get it replaced. And that just became it. That like literally as soon as I started doing that, I was just like, yo, this is what I want to do. And I haven't really kind of looked at anything else since. Really, it's kind of been like my unhealthy obsession for the last like God knows how many years. Yeah.
Right. So like you mentioned a few things like scratching and like without getting technical, explain the art of DJing, because a lot of people just think it's like you go to a club, you spin the record, you hope the crowd reacts. If they don't react, you spin the next one. So explain that the actual like the art of DJing.
It's hard to kind of like explain it and kind of like sort of say this is what DJing is, because it's all subjective. It's like anything that's like art or music is like open to interpretation. So what I would consider is like a great DJ, people think nah, that's boring, and what people consider as great, I'd be like it's kind of simple stuff. You know what I mean? So I'd say like an all-rounder, like a great all-rounder would be like tune selection's got to be on point, knowing when to drop the right record at the right time, knowing that these tracks will work better together than these other ones, and kind of as cliche as it sounds, taking people like on a journey in a nightclub, and then backed up with some kind of technical skills. So whether it's like scratching or the kind of turntablist side of it, or kind of doing like these dope little transitions, like wordplay routines, working out how to go from one record to another by using certain phrases and keywords and stuff. Or you could be like a wicked mic man who could like host it and kind of do like a Rodigan type thing, like a sound boy. There's so many kind of ways that would define being a great DJ, but I guess the blueprint for that be just look at Jazzy Jeff and Shorty Blitz. They're kind of like, for me, the epitome of what a great club DJ is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you mentioned Jazzy Jeff and Shorty Blitz. Are they two of the DJs that you look up to as inspiration or have done?
Jeff's the GOAT, Shorty's the UK GOAT, in my opinion. Like, they're my idols. You know what I mean? You got obviously like Craze and A-Track, who like the greatest of all time in their respects, in the whole kind of battle scene, and obviously A-Track going on and doing the whole like artist thing, like touring with Kanye and setting up Fool's Gold. He's like an icon basically, but yeah, that's kind of like my sort of like top 5 DJs really. They're the best.
Cool. You mentioned battle
and
DMC championships.
Yeah.
3 times consecutive.
Yeah.
Winner. Now, first of all, what is the DMC championships?
So for those who don't know, like the DMC Championship's been around since like the mid-80s. It's kind of like, I guess, like the DJ Olympics. I think it's kind of really been surpassed a little bit by Red Bull Freestyle, which is like another kind of DJ competition that's come through, which has got more of like an emphasis on party rocking, whereas DMC's like kind of super technical, like head down, doing like crazy beat juggles and scratching and stuff. And I did like the team category. There's like 3 main categories with DMC. So you've got the solo thing, which is like a 6-minute like routine by yourself. You got the Battle for Supremacy, which is like, you remember the movie Juice, where they're going like head to head and battling each other, winner stays on, that type of thing. And then you kind of got like the team category, which is like, you know, anywhere up to from like 2 to 4 DJs doing a kind of composition routine, like in unison. I did that with a few other people. We were lucky enough to kind of represent UK. I think we came third twice, 2009, 2010. And then solo stuff, you know, I just like made the UK finals, and I think I placed like third in like 2007 or something like that. But yeah, the whole like kind of championship thing is really like, you know, do it from the team category. Yeah,
it's cool, man. So I'm gonna take it back to that when you were a child or just getting into DJing. Mm-hmm. What was the first record you ever bought?
Actual 12-inch. Might have been something like Crust Warhead, like this kind of jump up like drum and bass tune. Because when I first started DJing, I was like, I like hip hop, I like drum and bass. I'm just gonna buy up everything that I like. And then I worked out very early on that in the late 90s, early 2000s, like if I wanted to cut a career as being a drum and bass DJ, I would need to produce. You know, I'm like 14, 15, I ain't got no money for like outboard gear and samplers and everything like that back in the day, whereas obviously now you can make whatever on a laptop and it's going to sound dope. You know, you would have needed like thousands of pounds worth of outboard gear, so I was like, nah, I can't do that, I can't afford that, let me just kind of focus on hip hop. But yeah, I think it might have been something on V Recordings, or it might have been, I don't know, like one of the first hip hop records I actually properly bought on vinyl might have been like Simon Says, Pharaoh Monch or something like that. So
big track. That was a big track.
Yeah, it's banger, definitely.
Cool. And so you got your equipment, got your stuff ready to go. When was the first time you got booked, and what was it like for you?
So it was like a youth club like down the road in Colchester, like where I'm originally from, and they were kind of like doing DJ workshops and stuff, and I was kind of like learning at home, and had a couple of mates who were DJs who were like kind of showing me like a few pointers and stuff, and I just kind of thought, oh, I'll go to this like DJ workshop thing, you know, just hang out with like other kids in the area. And yeah, they booked me like for like an hour set, like a local like under 18s night. You know, I got paid like £20-30 cash to like, you know, DJ for an hour, and I was like, oh, this is sick, cool. I can like DJ and get paid, and obviously went on records like the very next day. Yeah, and that's kind of what, you know, caught the bug for that really.
It's good. You mentioned earlier on about sort of the art, when we were talking about art of DJing, you was mentioning, you know, song selection needs to be on point.
Mm-hmm.
But from a DJ standpoint, they need to know what's next, like what's going to happen, like what's going on in the clubs, you know, what's ringing off on the radio. How, as a DJ, do you go about finding that next tune or what's ringing off in the clubs?
What nowadays?
Yeah.
Just like visiting other club nights, listening to like, you know, some of my friends who DJ. Sometimes we'll just like have like just general conversations. So, you know, like I'll call up like Complexion. He's like massive with the whole like Future Beats thing. You know, some of those records I like to kind of play in my sets or put into mixtapes as well. So we'll just like generally chat about, you know, what we think's popping at the moment. He might put me onto something, vice versa. You know, I've got loads of like friends who are in like other genres and other kind of scenes and that. So sharing knowledge is always good. You know, I'll just like listen to, you know, even like release like my release radar on Spotify. You know, as bait as it sounds, sometimes there are some great records that come up that I've missed or I've forgotten about. You know, I'll still listen to radio from time to time. You know, I'll still kind of like listen to even like Hot 97 as well, see what Flex is playing, and just kind of, you know, just keep it glued to like Twitter, social media. You know, there's always something that's kind of popping off. So yeah.
Okay, cool. You mentioned radio. Obviously, you've been on radio. One Extra since 2014. Explain what was about that.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much 2014.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, how did that come about? You getting on One Extra?
Do you know what? It was mad cheeky. So I was doing guest mixes periodically for like CJ Beats' show. I think I did one for like Mr. Jam as well. And I was just having a general conversation with Jam like one time, and obviously they were doing the whole daily dose thing where they had a bunch of residents on rotation, and just in conversation I was like, look, if you're ever going to switch the lineup, let me know. I wouldn't mind coming on and representing. And then literally a week later I got an email from the producer saying, oh, we're going to switch the lineup, do you want to join the roster? And I was like, that's perfect timing. So yeah, so I basically just said, yeah, okay, cool, I'm going to do it, and kind of, you know, just rolled with it. Initially it was going to be like a 6-month rotational thing. I lasted 2.5 years somehow. And yeah, obviously Jam went to Drive Time, Target took over, they changed the programming, and I'm still kind of doing bits with the station, you know, here and there, so like the occasional guest mix, or, you know, I'll cover Target a couple of times on a Friday night. So yeah, they kind of call me as and when they need me to kind of do guest mixes, and, you know, I've still got a relationship with people at the station, so, you know, occasionally I'll still like chat to them about, you know, what ideas I've got for content that I can provide for them, and, you know, we still have like a kind of open relationship like that, really. So yeah, man.
What were some of your like memorable sets like down the years on Extra? I know you had the Prez T one.
Yeah, man, the Prez T one was dope.
Massive.
That was heavy. Getting everyone from kind of West London at the time who was popping, so like Zoo, AJ Tracy, Ghosty was there as well, and like all of YGG. That was like a really good set. You know, I had like Big Ties and Miss Banks before, you know, they blew, did their thing. Had Section Boys on one time as well, just before they blew. I think it was just after they did their Fire in the Booth as well. So yeah, man, I did like loads of sets of like really great artists. You know, I was able to kind of like put together some really good content for the station, which I'm happy with. And yeah, man, I'm pretty sure some of those live on SoundCloud and YouTube somewhere. So if you search, you shall find.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely will do. Now, we're gonna go a bit left and talk different stuff now. So trainers, bro, like. Look at your Instagram, you've got 1 million trainers.
Yeah.
Nike especially. So where does that come from?
So a lot of the trainers that I wanted as a kid, I couldn't really afford, and my parents were willing to buy them for me. So I think a lot of it stems from that. So once I kind of started getting a little bit of DJ money, and once I started kind of doing brand work with Nike, I was like, oh, wicked, I can now get loads of kicks. And, you know, kind of started buying them and buying some more and buying some more and buying some more. And yeah, I've kind of hoarded this massive collection of sneakers, I guess, over like the past like 20 years, you know, from like going, you know, to like university and college, and, you know, having like friends who work at Foot Locker as well. So, you know, I kind of caught the bug early for kind of sneakers, really. And it's kind of got a little bit out of hand. Some are at my parents' house, some are at my girl's house. You know, some are like taking up space in my house that, you know, I've got like a room full that I can't even open the sofa bed, you know, and guests stay over and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of mad, man. It's definitely become a bit of a problem, you know.
How many pairs you got?
I don't even know. I think last time I counted, it was like probably over 180 or something like that. So, and I'm pretty sure there's stuff in my parents' place that I've forgotten about, or I don't even know about. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah.
And how did you get to do the brand work with Nike?
Just through like links and connections. So I had like management one time, and they kind of got me a couple of sets in store. Kind of lost contact, and then yeah, my friend like Martin Too Smooth, really great guy in the industry. Yeah, he like hooked it up. Basically, just kind of, you know, put a word in, and got a call from Nike. Do you want to come play in store? And, you know, I've been there for like the past 5 years, you know, permanently. And yeah, it's wicked, man. You know, it's a good brand to work for, and, you know, obviously they make like the best sneakers in my opinion. So it's a match made in heaven.
That's a good look. I was watching Khaled the other day, and he was talking about it's important for DJs to not just be a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about the brand work of Nike. You also talked about producing as well. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's important to build your brand as a DJ? You almost have to be more than a DJ these days.
Yes and no. Like, I think you can still succeed as being a great DJ. You know, there's proof out there that, you know, I mean, people like One Man, for example, who are wicked DJs who, you know, they've, got their own mixtape series, and they've done club nights themselves and everything like that. But, you know, to my knowledge, I think One Man has only made a couple of tunes, but he's built his reputation solidly off being a wicked club DJ, and he's still able to go out there and, you know, do his thing and perform. And, you know, like, I look at that as an inspiration. But yeah, I guess, you know, nowadays it's very easy to like diversify. So, you know, with technology, you know, you can be a label owner, you can be a producer, you can work with an artist, you can do A&R, you can, you know, put on people from your area, and, you know, if they blow, you can manage them as well. So, you know, it's a lot easier to kind of diversify these days, but I'd say it's not really necessary. I'd say if you're going to build a rep, like, just be known for being a great DJ, and then once you're known for being a great DJ and you're known for being a tastemaker in terms of playing great music, then you can diversify and, you know, either release records from people that you rate, or, you know, take the step into like making edits or tunes and stuff, you know. There's no real kind of set blueprint for it, but I'd say, you know, the fundamentals of building a brand is just be good at what you do.
Yeah, yeah. And you've managed to diversify. Obviously now you're a label owner and a producer.
Yeah.
How did you first get into producing?
It was just like edits and blends and bootlegs. So like there used to be this label called Aviate Records, and they used to do like loads of great party mashup records. Obviously like Fat Man Scoop, Be Faithful is, you know, the kind of biggest one on that label. And I just wanted to kind of play different shit in my sets. So I was like, cool, I just want to learn how to use Ableton to kind of, you know, make these edits that I can play in my set that no one else has got. And then I just like did a couple of production courses and, you know, kind of learned the fundamentals of like how to make beats, and, you know, I just started wanting to like kind of make original stuff, and just kind of led from there really.
Cool. And you've been producing recently. I see you've done a track with YS Wave.
Yeah.
Which is a good track.
Safe, man.
Yeah, so how did that come about working with him?
So he had a track called Calling Me about a year and a half ago, and like I really, really liked that tune. So when I had a show on Radar at the time, invited him down for an interview and a freestyle, and we just kept in contact, and, you know, I was just like sending beats here and there. So I haven't really been making as much music in the last year because I've been too busy playing out, and yeah, sent him a batch. He liked the beat that I sent him, and then he kind of worked with it and kind of went back and forth a few times, and the result is, you know, ready for this. So yeah, it was real easy to work with actually. You know, he's kind of open to different styles and different like tempos as well. So he's quite versatile as an artist, and yeah, hopefully we're going to be doing a few more bits and pieces. But,
yeah, I was going to say, any more bits and bobs come up with him or?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we just need to arrange the date to, you know, get back in the studio. Like his schedule's busy, my schedule's busy, so it's just kind of working out when we can kind of, you know, link up and stuff. You know what I mean?
Cool, man. That makes sense. Snoop, 2011 UK tour DJ for him. How did that come about?
So at the time I was DJing for an artist called Yasmin. She got the call to support him on his UK tour. Obviously I was DJing for her. So yeah, by default I kind of supported Snoop by DJing for Yasmin, really. So it was as easy as that.
Okay, cool. And Yasmin as well.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you went on tour with her as well to support Chasing Status.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, that was dope. That was kind of like my first real kind of introduction to kind of like touring with, you know, headliners like Chasing Status, and kind of being put into that realm of like being on stage and, you know, backing up an artist really. You know, it was quite a cool setup. So it was like me, a drummer, Yasmin, and yeah, it was dope just to kind of, you know, sort of experience that side of things. And, you know, we, for like the live shows, you know, I was like kind of doing like a showcase halfway through. So I was kind of at the time doing like scratch routines like with dubstep records, which were big at the time. And yeah, man, it's good to kind of be put on that stage, and, you know, it's a wicked opportunity, which I'm grateful for. You know, but yeah, just touring with Chasing Status was dope, man. Like the crowds were sick, energy was dope. Yeah, it was a nice run of shows.
Yeah. And how important is touring for a DJ? Because, you know, from an artist perspective, they say, oh, the big revenue generator is going on tour and, you know, doing sellout shows. Is that the same for DJs as well?
It depends, really. I mean, yeah, like most of my income is like, you know, live shows. I mean, obviously I get residuals from, you know, records that I've made, and, you know, like records that I played at live shows, or some of my records that I played at live shows. But yeah, for DJs, like touring really is like the kind of main sort of like bread and butter for your income, really. With artists, obviously, touring is essential. I mean, I think people also forget that, you know, a lot of money goes into like the production as well. You know, some artists like to have, you know, crazy like LED screens and pyros and everything like that, which adds to the performance, but it also kind of, you know, like gets people coming to your shows and stuff as well. So a lot of your income you might actually invest into kind of like making your live shows, you know, amazing, which, you know, kind of sustains itself really. But yeah, like touring's definitely, you know, definitely like a major factor in, you know, surviving as an artist these days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and in the music business, we don't really see the business side of it. Like, we don't see the revenue, the avenues you can go down to get revenue. Without watching your pockets, explain the revenue or the avenues that you can get to be a successful DJ.
Man, so I mean, obviously, like if you're on a major station, you know, radio pays. Obviously, live shows. You know, if you're a producer as well, you know, you got PRS and PPL. You know, NCPS as well. You might have stuff synced for like TV or film. You know, that's, you know, pretty good money there sometimes. Obviously, you know, you can get a publishing deal if, you know, if you happen to be like a producer or even like a songwriter in your spare time as well. So yeah, there's so many ways that you can get paid in the industry. You know, it's not just turning at a club and playing and, you know, like collecting your check at the end of the night. You know, building your own platform as well. So, you know, if you branch out into YouTube, you can get paid off your views on that. There's loads of different ways to get paid. I think, you know, people don't really explore everything. You know, there's definitely like a lot of stuff out there you can really kind of read up on and, you know, work out how to, you know, diversify and build your brand and kind of get paid off of that as well. You know what I mean?
And how important is social media as well? Because social media is obviously it's massive at the moment, but in terms of actually monetizing it, getting paid off it, how big is social media for a DJ?
It can be dope. I mean, you know, if you're someone who's got like 30,000 plus followers, you can do brand partnerships, you can get paid off of that. You know, you then become an influencer. You know, I hate that word, but yeah, you know, you become like an influencer and, you know, kind of, yeah, work with brands and brands will pay you for like sponsored posts. You know, people will send you like free stuff as well. You know, there's definitely perks to that. You know, but again, like utilizing social media, it's, you know, you can use it to, like I said, build your platform and, you know, go from there really.
So you're also a record label owner, Triangulum Records.
Yeah.
What's that about? Who's on Triangulum Records?
So I started that like 2011. That was kind of like when instrumental grime had a resurgence, like through Butters and a couple of other labels, and, you know, I was playing like a lot of dubstep at the time. A lot of my friends were putting out records or making tunes that didn't really have a home, so I was like, cool, let me put them out, see what happens. You know, it's digital only, and then it kind of became like a hub for just like my stuff that I wanted to put out. As my taste and style was developed over the years, the label was on kind of like a hiatus where I'm just kind of working out what I want to do next. So at the moment, you know, I'm making dancehall records, I'm making, you know, kind of sample-based hip-hop tunes as well. I don't think that really kind of sits at home with what Triangulum was about. That was all really kind of just about like instrumental grime, vocal grime, you know, kind of left field kind of electronic stuff. Whereas now, you know, I'm kind of moving more into a different direction with my sounds. So I'm just trying to work out the best way to kind of package it and put it out. And it's also tough running a label as well, because, you know, you can put all this money into like putting someone's tune out. You might only sell a few copies, and then you have to explain to the artist, like, yeah, we've paid for PR and we've done a video and we've only sold X amount of copies, so therefore we're in a loss and you know, I've got no money to pay you, basically. But I think, you know, we're kind of in an age where I think labels are almost redundant. You know, people are self-releasing stuff and, you know, having ownership of their own material, which, you know, is key now, you know, in this day and age. You know, if I had a tune that was massive, I'd release it myself, do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, it's dope to have a label to kind of work it for you, but, you know, do you really want to give up like that percentage when, you know, you can kind of hold it yourself? And, you know, if you're like putting out physical products and you're selling it for like £10-20 a pop, you're going to get 100% of that. If you give it to a label, you know, you might get anywhere from like, you know, 20 to 50%. You know what I mean? It's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, explain that process, because you was talking about, putting out records and percentages and stuff like that. You know, most people in the music industry, when they get into it, they're not really clued up on that. Mm-hmm. So what's the process in terms of, you know, you're an exec, you're a label owner, so, you know, when you put out a record, what's the sort of things you need to consider?
In terms of costs and stuff, I mean, so obviously if I've signed a tune by a rapper, I need to push the record. So obviously I've got my network that I can put it out to, and I can try and get a few spot plays here and there. If the tune starts building momentum, you know, I might hire a plugger, like a radio plugger. You know, if there's a music video done, I want it on MTV and, you know, all the other like stations and that, so I then got to pay for that to be put forward for TV. I would have to pay for the video as well. I would have to, you know, like put all these other costs in. So, you know, again, like social media promotion. So instantly, like those 3 or 4 things, you know, it's a good 4 figures right there, you know. And being an independent label, I always operated on like a 50-50 split on net profit. So whatever we make back, the profit after that gets split 50%. Like, you know, it's a fair way to do it. Some labels might only give you like 15%. You you know, they might be published by someone else, so you know, them guys get a cut. You know, it's I think kind of like the higher you go, the more hands are, you know, exchanging money and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're like independent, it's a lot easier to kind of, you know, say to everyone, cool, we're gonna just do like a 50-50 deal. It's a lot easier. But yeah, once you start getting, you know, picked up by like major labels and stuff, and don't get me wrong, like major labels suit certain artists and it works for them. And if you've got that much clout as an artist, you can kind of, you know, work with your lawyer to kind of negotiate the best deal for you. I think like a lot of artists kind of get excited about signing with a major and not fully reading through the paperwork and understanding, and, you know, realising that, you know, you could be pretty much signing your life away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Paperwork, bro, like paperwork.
Yeah.
A lot of people come into this industry and they don't understand what they're signing, or they don't understand what type of deals they're getting in. What advice would you give to people who want to maybe sign with a major or sign with an or independent label? Paperwork, how can they get their paperwork checked out?
just hire a lawyer, like, you know, for the cost of how much it's going to be, what, like an hour, 2 hours, you know, you get some really good music lawyers, they ain't going to charge that much, you know. You might have someone who's doing like a music law degree who could like skim over it for you if you really haven't got that money to spend. Like, just, you know, like, just always check the paperwork, always get someone to, you know, I've been burned in the past from like, you know, shitty paperwork, you know what I mean? So
can you go into detail about how you've been burned? Or?
no, I can't, I'll tell you off record, but yeah, you know, I've been burnt off record, you know, so I've been burnt on paperwork and stuff, and, you know, that's hurt me a little bit financially, so, yeah, like, you know, just get someone to check your shit, you know, and especially if it's a major, like, you know, they're going to have their lawyers making sure that the deal is right for them. You need to have a lawyer to make sure the deal is right for you. And, you know, you'll probably go back and forth. You will probably spend a decent amount in lawyers' fees, but inevitably you will be left with something that will be beneficial for both parties. In theory, I mean, obviously, it doesn't always work out that way. You know, sometimes there's going to be certain terms in the contract that you're not going to agree with, or, you know, it's not going to sit right with you, and then therefore that deal might not be right for you. So, but at least you've, you know, spent that money on getting that paperwork checked out, because if you'd signed that paperwork, you know, they could have like owned your ass for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So.
Cool. So what's next for DJ Cable? What's coming up?
Just buy more trainers, really. It's a lot more live shows, so branching out to club nights as well. So me, SK Vibemaker and Sarah Harrison, we've all kind of joined forces to make a club night called On Site. We've done our second event, you know, a few days ago, went pretty well. We're just kind of slowly building on that. Doing an event with Smoochie as well, Hoxton Pony. You know, we're trying a little something there. So live shows and kind of like my own events are like the next step. Producing records as well is, you know, like the next kind of step really as well. Just kind of getting more placements, working with more artists, like, you know, more edits, more remixes, just kind of putting more content out there really. You know, I've kind of been a bit slacking in like the last year just because I've been too busy DJing. So now it's time to kind of really, yeah, sort of do what I said I was going to do like 2 years ago, and, you know, get more stuff out there.
Bro, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining Beam. Where can people find you? Where can people holler at you?
Thanks for having me, man. If you want to holler at me online, it's all like mad easy. The socials are just at DJ Cable, DJ Cable. If you can't remember any of that, just djcable.com, or just type me into Google, something will come up, I guess. Yeah, so hit me up.